We have noted the election results, but we always make the point that we have been elected by the majority of the people of Gauteng based on the mandate that we sought from them, and that's the election manifesto of the ANC. We're going to do everything to ensure that we turn around this province. I know that the provincial executive of the ANC will be meeting in Lekgotla this weekend to take stock of the election results. But from the point of view of government, which is what the ANC has asked me to look at, that having spent 14 years into the party, sorting out community problems, dealing with organizational issues, I've been asked now to look at how to turn around service delivery in this province, how to increase the rapid rate of economic development to ensure we build an inclusive economy, we increase decent employment, and address the multiple social ills that face our communities in Gauteng. So I'm excited by this opportunity. The people of Gauteng have asked us to serve them, and that's what we are going to do, to serve them with honor and
It's not going to be
integrity.
very easy to serve them. I mean, Gauteng is like a magnet. It's the richest province. It contributes the biggest slice to the GDP of South Africa, and apparently it's the fourth largest economy in Africa. But it's popular, so it attracts people from all over the country, across its borders, therefore putting pressure on a number of its own resources, whether it's from education to health, space and land. I mean, it's a huge challenge.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge, but it's an exciting challenge. This is a rapidly urbanizing province, attracting migrants from all over the continent and all over the world, all over the country. Yes, the more houses you build, the more people stream here. People are looking for economic opportunities because it's a province of choice for many people. But it is a challenge that I accept, and the team we have put in place in government, it's equal to that task. We're going to do everything to turn around this province. We have a number of game changers in the economy, in new human settlements, in public transport, to change the way things are. We will build on the work done over the past 20 years, but we also know what has worked and what has not worked.
Okay, let's talk about game changing. One of the areas that concerns many people in Gauteng is the business sector. Yes. And one of the problems in the last few years that we've seen in South Africa is the erosion of the trust between government and business. What are you planning to do to engender a spirit of good, solid partnership with the business sector? Because you need the business sector.
Yes, certainly. I mean, in the last few days, I've already been speaking to business leaders. During the election campaign, I met with a lot of business chambers, business leaders across Gauteng province. There's lots of goodwill, but we have made it clear that our relationship and partnership with business should be results-based. So business is looking for their bottom line, and that's to increase profit. But we serve the people. So our bottom line is to firstly increase the number of decent jobs created, to absorb more young people into this economy, but also to build an economy that is more inclusive. Black people, women and youth must be at the center of this economy. That's our bottom line. So our relationship with business is very important. We also want to take business into the continent. Africa is a place of enormous opportunity. South African businesses are quite reluctant to go into the continent. This is a continent of 1 billion people. There are enormous resources across the continent. So in this relationship, results-based relationship with business, business will benefit, but the people of our province must benefit.
Are you going to facilitate how business is done in Gauteng? How are you going to make it easier for business to operate? Are you going to reduce red tape that allows business, especially small and medium businesses who complain a lot that because of cash flow problems, they have to wait for long for government to pay them when they've got contracts with the government? I mean, it's important for you to focus on that.
Yes, there's two issues we are going to deal with to facilitate this good relationship with business. The first one has already been done. There's the investment center that was launched by the previous premier in Sandton. That investment center is a very important entity to help facilitate investment in our province, to cut red tape. And the second one is that I have said to the senior managers in the public service, I'm not going to take any explanation why business people who have done work for government, who have done good work, must wait to be paid. It has happened. Many businesses have been destroyed, especially small businesses, black businesses have been destroyed because they have not been paid on time. I've said public servants, once work has been completed, invoices have been brought there, they can't lie on the desk of some manager who is taking his or her time. So the payment on time of public servants is one of the issues that's on my radar screen. I have said across the system here, we won't take no for an answer. We have public servants employed full-time to do their job in hospitals, in government offices, in schools, in police stations. They have to do their job. We want to do our job. And we're going to spend lots of time out of the offices on the ground, making sure that these institutions of government work to serve the people.
So you want a hands-on team. You've got a hands-on team. You want them out and about, finding out on the ground, talking to the people, all the relevant stakeholders to say what is going on and fixing the problems. Is that your approach?
Yes. Hands-on team, activist team. We call it an activist cabinet because it must be out there talking to various sectors, talking to communities, and blocking blockages, sorting out service delivery problems, not spending time in long meetings, endless meetings away from the people. That's what we call an activist cabinet, what you call a hands-on team.
Yeah, that sounds very good, and I'm hoping it will happen, because we got a sense as the media, we might have been wrong ahead of the general election that we had earlier this month, that there was a bit of a disconnect between what people want on the ground and what the government was offering. We saw that in service delivery protests, and Gauteng was not immune to those.
Yes. That's why I have appointed a special advisor on service delivery as one of the people who's really going to, that's a former MEC, wealth of experience, an experienced member of the provincial legislature, to be there, out there in communities, working with MECs to unblock service delivery. You know, one of the important things to know, Dan, is that we don't have a problem of resources. We have resources locked in projects that take long to be delivered. So project management, and then we also have projects like houses are delivered, but it takes long to bring people into those houses across the length and breadth of the province. So those projects, I've said to the civil servants in the province, in the next few days, we're going to be going to each of those projects, from Beggersdal to Sebokeng to Hammanskraal to Katlehong, across the province to Soweto, where government has put in huge resources. We know the bureaucracy and a bit of fiddling around with these projects to get something out of it, whether it's corruption or so. We're going to be unblocking those projects. That's why I'm saying our immediate problem is not lack of money. We're not spending enough the money that we have.
Okay, talking about, you've got the resources, you've got the money, but you're not spending it enough where you should. We've seen a lot of unhappiness at the municipalities. You don't run the municipalities, but they are part of your province.
Yes.
How are you planning to assist to ensure that where there are service delivery protests, for instance, we don't have violence, people don't destroy clinics? We've seen people banning infrastructure as expressing anger. And that's a critical point, because it's part of your province. While you are not daily responsible for running the municipalities, what is your thinking about the next 5 years in how you manage that relationship to ensure that, yes, people can protest, but there's peace?
Yes, I mean, we live in a democracy. I think protest is a very important exercise of the people's democratic right and popular participation. I welcome protest very much, but violence in that protest is something unacceptable. So we're going to be working with various community organizations and stakeholders to deal with the violent part of protests. We want to promote popular participation, democratic participation. On the other hand, which is something that we're also looking at, is how we're going to get into different communities in our province to create a sense of ownership. It's of no help to build a school and the community vandalizes that school. To build a hall, it is vandalized. It means there's some sense of alienation of communities in the way we go about carrying out development. So we are reviewing that as well. But I'm very confident. As I say, I spend a lot of time in the communities as a party secretary dealing with problems. I've got a sense of where people are right and as well where protest maybe a function of other things that have nothing to do with service delivery. But we're going to be on the ground all the time, unlocking these problems.
My producer Aisha is going to be upset with me. I need to ask one more question because time has run out. How should we judge your performance in 5 years' time when we look back? What should we be looking at? How should we've been evaluating David Makhura's performance as a Premier?
Well, the first thing I want to say, Dan, is that wait for the State of the Province address, because we're going to put out there what is going to be very definite commitments with timelines. But the hallmark of our administration is that we will, the fifth administration of the ANC in this province will be an administration with the big ideas, what we call game changers, as well as being able to respond promptly to day-to-day immediate pressing issues of service delivery. So we have big ideas how to take this province forward in a big way, but we also want to build the capacity to do the immediate issues that will make people not wait for the big and grand ideas. Well, like a combination of that is what will characterize our administration.
Okay, we'll wait and find out what your game changes are going to be, and then we'll track them, and hopefully in a few years' time we'll review them together with you in the studio.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's the new Gauteng Premier, David Makhura.
You deserve to know more.
enca.com